start with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, if everybody has had an opportunity to review the minutes, may I have a motion to adopt the minutes as distributed?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried.
I'd like to formally present the tentative budget to the town board.
Okay,
There you are.
here we go.
Thank you,
So we're going to have a public hearing to consider local law number 9 of 2023 to override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3. I have a motion to open up the public hearing.
I'll move that. I'll second that.
Is there anyone wishing to speak for or against the proposed local law?
Ed Schmidt, Hayes Road. I don't care to override if you have a good reason, but the way this is written, it sounds like a blank check to me. You're not saying how much you're going to override it by, you're just saying I can override it by whatever, and that doesn't seem appropriate. I think you should have an idea how much you're going to over and write that into the law.
Is there anybody else wishing to speak in regarding the proposed law?
Is this specifically Fred Birch, Plainville Road? This is, we've done this before, right? This is just the same thing that we do pretty much every year. Are there changes to it this year than it has been previous years, or is it's the same? Okay.
Same.
So, and we've been doing this for,
Since they adopted the law.
it's been, what, 10 years anyways, 10 years or so?
More than that.
It's been quite a while.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak tonight regarding this? No? Okay, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move it.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Citizens' comments regarding agenda items. Is there anyone wishing to speak regarding the agenda items tonight?
Rob Alfred, 349 Hourglass Lane. I understand the club is on the agenda, so I have some comments in regard to that, specifically with industrial lot usage. The reason stated in the club for changing the industrial lot usage is that it will maximize the development potential for these parcels, which would help reduce the potential commercial and industrial sprawl. This is an opinion which is not supported with any facts. The seeker process reviews the impact of a project will have on its environment. Currently, the bar is high since the seeker for industrial projects in Lysander reviews the environmental impact of a project would have on agriculture land and a wildlife management area. Once you allow high-density industrial projects, the future seekers only need to compare its impact to areas around existing industrial sites. That would promote industrial sprawl, not prevent it. That is an opinion supported by facts. The facts would further indicate that the real reason to change the industrial lot usage law, which had been on the books for over 20 years, is to support the United Auto Supply's 1 million square foot warehouse proposal. On February 4th of 2021, Supervisor Wicks and the town board, with the exception of Bob Garacci and Kevin Road, voted to unlawfully change the industrial lot usage from 30% to 50%. Citing several violations of law, a group of concerned citizens sued the town which reverted the law back to 30%. The United Auto Supply application to the Lysander Planning Board was dated the same day the town board changed the law, February 4th of 2021. That's an incredible coincidence. After on the books for over 20 years, our town supervisor didn't suddenly wake up one day and decide to change the law. Since 2021, Jim Rinaldi and United Auto Supply are the largest combined contributors to the Lysander Republican Party. In fact, United Auto Supply contributed $5,000 to the
Okay,
Lysander.
hold on. There's no, if you look at the, when you
No,
look
I'm
at
getting
your,
to the point.
hold on. If you look at it, the agenda, no political issues are in here. If you want to speak to something else, but you're not going to bring in politics, that's in the rules of the, hold on, and you have a copy of them with the agenda. It specifically states in here, and I'll stop your time. Hold on. In case you didn't read it, they're in the rules of procedure in the back, which we can have. And fourth bullet. Citizens may make comments on agenda items only. No personal, political, or social issues will be allowed or addressed by the board. So, no political issues in there. You can speak about anything else.
I understand that. The reason I brought it up,
Okay, but it's still political. Okay, so move on, please.
because that is
Well,
the reason
Okay, but you can't bring,
for the increase in
Mr. Halford,
usage.
you can't bring up political issues here. That's in the rules, and we can make rules of procedure in here. That's in the open meetings law. So either you stick to the rules or please sit down. You can do one or the other. You can continue if you like, but nothing political should be in there.
Okay, I have more.
Okay.
The recommendations in the club to change industrial lot usage are not simply benign suggestions. When the town was sued in 2021, the first cause of action was that the change in the code was not considered in the 2015 club. Therefore, the first step to change industrial lot usage would be to have a recommendation written into the club to do so. Current industrially zoned land extends down Hinkle Boulevard to across from Lysander Town Park. If the town board changes the industrial lot usage law, the woods across from the Lysander Park soccer fields could become a large, high-density industrial complex. I doubt the citizens of Lysander would enjoy that. Thank you.
Fred Burge, Plainville Road. Wow. To pick up where Mr. Helfrich left off, we've got new property there for the park that extends all the way down, I'm pretty sure past the power lines on that side of the road. What do you mean political? And so if we improve that area of the property that we own and make it available to people, basically that industrial complex is going to be alongside our entire park area. So I'm sure most of the people in town like to see a reduced, space, but also visual too. There's people that have lived on that country lane and Route 48 for the duration, 50, 60, 70 years, and they come to a certain way of expectations in life. And part of that is light pollution. I wonder how many people in those areas might have an amateur telescope and go out. I own one, an expensive one. And I love living out on Plainville Road because there's no street lights. You wouldn't believe the amount of stars you can see. That's just me. I don't know. If I live on Country Lane, if you build something big there, there's going to be quite a bit of light pollution. I'd like to see this board and the planning board try to, I don't want to stop progress, but we also want it to be reasonable and we're already going to have a problem with traffic. So I want to see berms and trees, even if it is a reduced building, in addition to that. And I think It was a mistake to make the additional entrance out from Hankel. Okay, that being said, and then one other item. I saw that you went around to the second page there, and it has like the rules on it there for read, so that, to me, that makes this entire piece of paper the agenda. And the topic that I'd like to speak to is item number 6, where it says citizens' comments regarding agenda items only. And I've been attending meetings for 15 years now, and that didn't always say that. It used to just say citizens' comments. In the last 6 or 7 months is when that's been changed.
Okay, that's not agenda items.
It says it right there. It says right there, comments regarding agenda items only. I'm just reading what it says on the agenda.
Regular, if you look down at number 10, regular agenda items. So we're talking about A, B, C, and D. That's what we're talking about.
All right, I appreciate that. It would be nice if concerned citizens could approach the microphone and talk about an issue that they might have in the town, to which I know that you or the town attorney would say, hey, come on and see us, during the daytime. Well, unfortunately, my work schedule Monday through Thursday doesn't coincide with that. And I know you don't come to work on Friday, so Friday's my day off. It would be an opportunity for me to come in and talk to you.
Okay.
I try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone at the meeting.
Okay, hold on. We're talking about the agenda items.
Okay.
If not, I would ask you to sit down.
All right, I'm being precluded from talking about issues that I have concerns of
Okay,
because
please
I
sit down
don't
then.
have the ability to come to the town board or come to the town hall
Could you please sit down?
during the daytime. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The only thing I'd like to add about the driveway on the Henkel property is that was a county approval. That had to go through the county. The county legislature approved it.
I thank you for saying, I
That's-
appreciate it.
that's
I didn't know
not- That
that.
was not a town board
I didn't know
decision.
that. Thank you for adding that. Thank you. I'll be calling people tomorrow.
Okay. Anybody else wish to speak tonight?
First of all, I wanted to acknowledge that I did see the agenda online yesterday before the thing went down. That was good. This increasing the site use from 30% to 80%, it really, to me, it boils down to a quality of life issue for the residents. Okay? You increase it to that big density, you're going to have more truck traffic, you're going to have more noise, you're going to have the light pollution from referred to, things like that. And we live here for a reason. And that's not to have the trucks rumbling by our house every day, and it's not to have trucks idling by our house every day. And I think we can have growth. We would certainly have 30% forever, and that doesn't seem to have harmed us. Kevin mentioned earlier, the club is a living document. You can change it if you need it. So I don't understand why you have to change it now in case you need it, when you could actually change it in the future if something came up that justified it. Like the other gentleman said, if you put it into the document right now, that's going to be kind of the de facto standard that affects the future project going forward. And the citizens don't want to hear that.
Maybe for the benefit of you and everybody else, and maybe it's not right, we're supposed to just listen, it's not in the club. All that's in the club is a recommendation, there's no changes on density or anything.
There was, page 63.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
Okay, because I downloaded it last night.
Huh?
I downloaded it last night.
The club that is being, could I speak? I'm the chairman of the club committee, Jack Corley. There is the club issue and the percentage of acreage usage that you're all talking about is not part of the club that this board is considering. That is going to come under a separate letter that will go to the board with recommendations for changes to the town code. The arguments you're making now are related to that exercise when and if the town gets to it. The club only talks about the fact that the committee, the club committee, is asking the town board to consider increasing the acreage coverage. Why? Because there is, right now we're at, well, whether we're at 30 or 50, even at 50, we're the lowest acreage coverage town in central New York.
Good. Good.
Radisson is 80%. Now, I don't hear those people screaming and yelling about the noise and stuff of traffic, that whole area.
Trailer going to Radisson.
That's right.
Okay, hold on.
The point is,
Public hearing.
I've seen the emails and stuff. There is no recommendations to change any laws in the club. The club is an overview document that lays out a vision and a plan for the town of Lysander to operate and preserve what it's trying to preserve in the town, and we try to make sure that it is consistent with the codes to achieve that vision. Okay? So all these issues you've been talking about with the club up to this point are irrelevant tonight because the document they're going to be approving has none of that in it. When they have a public hearing to consider changes to town law, that's when you need to be here.
So,
Okay?
No. It's not a public hearing.
Jack, you're wrong.
It's not a public hearing.
You're not right.
Jack,
Come on.
don't get in there.
No.
Mr. Helfrich,
I am very
you're out of order. I would ask you to please follow the rules. He's just trying to explain what's going on, and we will have like he said, any change that has to go in, we would have a public hearing on. So you have at least another 2 minutes left in your time.
Okay, that was the main point I wanted to make. It's a quality of life issue. I live in a neighborhood where we've had serious quality of life issues because of things the board has approved, so I'm very into it. I'm unhappy about it still, and I'm going to be unhappy about it until it gets fixed or we get a new board. And that's just it. If you're actually voting on a document that we haven't seen, I guess we'd all appreciate the ability to see it, because the one I downloaded last night, which was the revised club, on page 63 had those recommendations in it. And it literally said 30% to 70% and 80% for commercial industrial. Thank you.
I mean, what I have up on, this is on from our town website. Of course, my eyes aren't great to read from here. You can scroll the page.
You can touch the screen.
Yeah, I got the mouse.
Now, again, he's just pointing some things out. This isn't a public hearing, but he'll point out where that information is.
Jack, is that something you can find? Because it's important that, I'm a little concerned that what was on our website is not the final draft of the.
I mean, the appendix was not supposed to be part of the file.
Right.
The appendix is not, I'm not sure why that's still posted there. The document that we sent to you electronically for your review is the one that should have been posted. That is the old one.
Can you go to page 53?
Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to table this for tonight, the club.
And then,
If it's not on there, we should play.
we did not, that was the one that we talked about over the summer and it got revised.
We'll
That's not-
table that, and then we'll
We'll make sure that the document that gets posted is the final draft. Folks, I'm not speaking for myself, but I have to. I wouldn't have been in favor of voting for this club had that thing not been taken out of the document, and I'm very happy that it is. Why it's on our website, I don't know. So we'll revisit it. Go ahead.
So, is there anybody else, knowing that we are not moving forward with that? Yes, sir.
Hi, Ken Landon, Gates Road. I came here tonight concerned about the 30 to 50 or 80% on club. And now I'm totally confused. I'm not sure what you folks want to do. That shouldn't be the case.
It's not going
Thank
to be
you.
in there, Ken.
Okay. Anyone else? You already had your 5 minutes.
That was the public hearing, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Anybody else? Okay. Not hearing any, we'll move on. Town board comments. We'll start with you tonight, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you for everybody coming and bringing to our attention that that document was not what we reviewed. I apologize for that. We received the budget tonight. I'm sure we'll be posting this on the website, and we'll have our budget work sessions the 15th, 16th, and 17th here at Town Hall. Whether they'll be here or in the conference room, it'll be posted, I'm sure. The override on the tax levy, it's a procedural thing. We've done it since, well, the board's done it since it's been enacted by the state. If we decide going through the budget process that we have to increase taxes over the levy, over the tax rate of 2%, but 2% changes every year. Some years it's not even 2%, other years it might be 3 or 4. We wouldn't have enough time to stage the public hearing to be able to do that if we decided as a board we need to increase it. So and we will rescind it after the budget process if we're not going to exceed the cap. That's all. Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you for catching that. To my understanding, that was not supposed to be in there, so it is. We'll table it. Next version will not have that in there whatsoever, and then we'll review it, go from there.
I was going to comment about the tax override, just to make sure everybody understood it. I was going to do it at the time of the resolution was in front of us to vote on, but since Kevin brought it up, I'll say something. Just about every town in New York State does this. It's a matter of principle, because New York State has the audacity to tell local governments, you will keep your tax rate at such and such, not to exceed it. But guess what? New York State doesn't follow it itself. And so it's a matter of principle for all towns to be able to say, you know what, we're going to do the best we can to keep our taxes as low as we can. Obviously, if you've lived here for several years, you know that your taxes haven't gone up. We're among the lowest in the entire county. But we have to do this for what Kevin said, because of the time frame. If you have to, in fact, raise your taxes by a 0.1% over the limit, you have to have a public hearing. There's literally not enough time in the calendar year to do that. But it's mostly a matter of principle, and the fact of the matter is we have not had to exceed the tax limit. It's a formality that we have to do. I hope everybody understands that.
Good? Yep. All right. I'd also like to thank everybody for coming out. And your comments, you know, we listen to them up here. We don't make comments back to you very often because we're here to listen. It really is what we're here to do. I'm sorry about the confusion. I will tell you that if it were in the document to raise from 30% to 80%, the thing that everyone seems to be concerned about, I know Bob said he wouldn't vote for it. I wouldn't either. We live here too. We love this community too. And we love this way of life too. We are just the ones who get to listen to what's on your mind. So I do appreciate you coming. Same thing with the tax override. You know, I don't know what the cost of living increase has been over the past year or 2 or 2.5. It's been a lot more than 2% each year. Again, we work very hard to try to keep the taxes in the town of Lysander low. And being able to do that with the cost of living increase that's been going on, fuel prices and everything else, has not been easy. We've been very frugal. And we go head to head during the budget process lots of times with certain departments because certain departments get hit harder than others. But we are very frugal on this board, and we're glad to do that job. I, for one, like looking at these numbers. I say it every year. I like to play with the numbers and see what we can do for the town for the least amount of money. That's about it for me. Thanks again, though, for coming and for watching.
So, first thing I want to say, I think we should recognize the state police. I'm sure most people know that there was a 9-year-old girl abducted in State Park up in north of Saratoga or Albany. The state police, within 2 days, they were able to identify a suspect and bring him into custody. And they recovered this 9-year-old little girl, and they, according to what the news said, she's doing very well. most people, I did police work for 39 years. Most people don't understand how tremendous of a job this is. This is a phenomenal job by a police agency that's probably one of the premier police agencies, well, not probably, is one of the premier police agencies in the United States. And unlike some communities, Onondaga County, our police in Onondaga County we are very well served by the police that we have in both local and state. But this job was just a tremendous, tremendous job done by them, and I think we are lucky to have them protecting us and representing us in our community. And I just wanted to throw that out. There's always two sides to an issue with anything that we have. Sometimes people are going to be in favor of an issue. Sometimes people are not going to be in favor of an issue. But what we have to do is we have to make decisions on different issues. And sometimes some people are going to be happy with them. Some people are not going to be happy with the decisions. But that's what we're paid to do. That's what we're up here to do. And I know that everybody up here tries to do the best that they can, make the best decisions for the most amount of people in our town. Sometimes there are going to be some people that are impacted negatively. We can't, and that's from their perspective, and I understand from someone's perspective, if it's affecting you negatively, I can understand why you wouldn't be in favor of an issue. But what we try to do, and what I always try to do, is to take a look at both sides of an issue, and if it benefits the town much more than it doesn't, and we have to make a decision one way or the other, I'm going to be in favor of that when it impacts the majority of the people in a positive way over other people. That's just the way we have to do it. It doesn't mean that the people that are going to be upset about an issue that we don't have, we aren't sensitive to those issues, but sometimes we have to make a decision and some people aren't happy with those decisions. As far as I know, there's no warehouse going in, at least at this time, in that area. The owner of that property was, I had a conversation with him about the warehouse, and he said he has no plans to put up a warehouse. He really didn't give me an answer. He just said that he wasn't going to do it. Certainly, he owns the property, so at some point, I'm sure that he's going to do something with it. He might even sell it, I don't know. But at this time, according to the owner of the property, he doesn't have any plans on putting anything on that property, let alone a warehouse. And again, and the other board members explained that if there was to be any type of modifications to that property, and they put an exit or an entrance onto Henkel Boulevard, that would be a change in the plans on there. So that would have to go before the planning board in order to make those modifications, first of all. And secondly, if there was going to be a change in any type of coverage, that would have to be a public hearing. And like you already heard from some of the board members, they wouldn't be in favor of that. You need at least 3 people on the board to change any of those laws. So with the budget, over the past 3 years, the tax rate that we have produced was down 18.3%. The overall tax levy, I think, was down about $200,000 over when we started 3 years ago. So the first year there was a 9%, a little bit over 9% reduction. The next year it was a little more than 6%, and then last year it was a little bit more, or a little bit less than 2%, averaging up to 18.3%. This year, the budget that I proposed to the board has a 0.86% increase in the budget, which overall would bring the decrease over 4 years, decrease in the tax rate to 17.4%. And I worked with the comptroller and we worked with the department heads and we looked at everything we needed. And it wasn't a want, it was a need. What do we need? And we had to do make some hard choices and some things. Not all the department heads got everything they want. In fact, none of the department heads got everything they want. And that 0.8% or 0.86% increase, just so people can get a little perspective. If you have a $150,000 house, assessed at $150,000, it's a $1.29 increase. 250, it'd be $2.15. 350, it'd be $3. $500,000, it would be $4.30. And with the cost of everything, the cost of paving has gone way up for us. The cost of gas has gone way up. I'm sure everybody knows about gas. Everything that we're doing has gone up. We've had to have increases in salaries, and we're moving into next year where we're going to have contract negotiations, so we had to have contingencies for that. So when you look at that budget, and we're going to have a public hearing on that, look it all over, look at previous years, and look at what we allocated for each departments, and you'll see very, very, very small increases. Okay. Department head reports. Mr. Rivazigno? Mr. Merrill? Okay.
I have a few things, but first is the question on the club. So there's a red line copy. What page would that be on the red line copy? Do you know, Kevin, where that increase?
63 something.
Page 63? Because there's a red line copy on here and then another copy that I was sent.
I pulled up the final, not the edit. It said clean on the website.
Yeah, it still says, yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
it's just,
So I think
I
it's
just wanted to make
wrong.
sure that I had the right two on there, but okay, all right. Next, the RFP. So
We have quiet, please.
So September 6th, I put out an RFP for plowing for the Troopers Barracks that the town of Lysander owns. I posted it on the website and sent it to the following companies: JMI Snow Plowing, Randy Kramer, AML Properties, Gary Schneider for Broadwell, Mosher's Landscaping, P. Miller's Snow Plowing, and Ryan's Snow Plowing. Bids were opened on October 5th, 2023 at 10 a.m. and were submitted as follows. Broadwell Industries was $20,000, Mosher's Landscaping was $10,560, Flat Rock Hardscapes was $8,000. During the work session, we discussed that Flat Rock was going to be rejected as the RFP wasn't completed in the way that it was supposed to. So we are going with Mosher's Landscaping and the amount of $10,560.
Okay.
Okay. Next, there were some issues with the website, again today, that happened with the domain. So I wrote this little essay that I'm going to read just to put it on the record of what happened.
That's on our website now, though, right?
Oh, it's up. It was up. Yeah, they said
I
it
mean,
was going to
what
take.
you're going to read is on there as well.
No, I didn't put it on there. I'm just making the statement right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this morning I received several calls regarding the website being down. I spoke with our town councilor, Jeff Kudaraskis, who found that the domain was not working correctly. Upon learning that, I called our website provider, who informed me that the invoice was past due and our domain service had been suspended. I called our domain provider to update our credit information and to get the domain reinstated. According to the customer service rep, Sean, 2 weeks ago an email was sent to the email address of a person who is no longer with the town of Lysander that the credit card on file was expiring and needed to be updated. That was on September 21st when a 2-week grace period was given. So that's why the website had problems 2 weeks ago tonight. That grace period expired this date. As such, the domain was shut down, which affected the website and some incoming and outgoing emails, actually. I provided the administrator our current credit card information and renewed our domain for another 10 years. The cost for the 10-year plan is $1,457.59, which includes the reinstatement fee of $35.99, domain and privacy protection for $119.90, domain expiration protection for $9.99, and site lock premium at $958.80. Site lock premium protections protects the domain from malware, blacklisting. Blacklisting is a list of unsafe URLs, IP addresses, domain names, etc. So every time there's new administration, a new credit card is given. So the old credit card that we had was from the old administration, and that's what they were trying to charge. So that is what happened. It's all fixed, and we're all good.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great job, Dina, our /IT website manager. Thank you.
How did I sign on for this?
You're lucky.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to the regular agenda items. May I have a motion to adopt a local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law, 3-C.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, we are going to table motion B. May I have a motion to accept the bid from Mosier's Landscaping for plowing and salting of the Troopers Barracks in the town of Lysander at a cost of $10,560 per the contract. Bids were opened by the town clerk on October 5th, 2023 at 10 a.m. and bid results will be read at the town board meeting, which they were.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I am abstaining. May I have a motion to authorize the budget modification form submitted by the town comptroller for completion of sealing and of the parking lot and curb repair at the Troopers Barracks and the addition of the commercial cyber insurance policy for the town of Lysander.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. I don't believe there's any reason for an executive session tonight. I may have a motion to adjourn at 7:03.
I'll move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.